Everyone envied my happy marriage. My husband was considerate and caring, until the day he died. Holding my hand, he called out my twin sister's name over and over again. It was then that I realized I was just a substitute. In my second life, my mother was holding 2 photos, asking me to choose a marriage partner. Daughter, between Oliver and Nathaniel, you prefer Nathaniel, right? Everyone in City A knew Adelaide was madly in love with the young Master Nathaniel. In my previous life, for him, I was willing to have an abortion, kneel, and even have a hysterectomy. No. I shook my head. I love Oliver. In this life, I can choose true love. I don't want to be a substitute anymore. 1. On the day Adelaide and Nathaniel's families finalized their marriage alliance, my sister returned from abroad. Seeing my custom-made wedding dress that had been flown in, she couldn't bear the blow and attempted suicide by cutting her wrists. That night, Nathaniel skipped our family dinner. My sister, however, posted an update late at night. You said I was your eternal love, and that you would never let go of my hand, she wrote, along with a photo of her and Nathaniel's hands intertwined. Overnight, I became the laughingstock of the entire city. Everyone said that Adelaide, the spare heiress, had finally managed to snag a man, only to let him slip away during the engagement party. They called me a pathetic loser. I simply smiled at the online comments. The dinner that night was originally intended to discuss my marriage to Oliver. As for Nathaniel, a mere passerby, whether he came or not was of no consequence. I continued with my wedding preparations, but Nathaniel suddenly stormed over furious. Adelaide, get over here, he demanded. You're so bold. You actually had my family agree to the marriage without my permission. You've gone to great lengths to get me, he continued. But do you know that Bridget nearly died because of you? I remained calm. Don't worry, my sister won't die. And I never wanted you anyway. Bridget's so-called suicide attempt the previous night was nothing more than a superficial cut with a brow razor. She could have healed herself by the time she was sent to the hospital. My calm demeanor only fueled Nathaniel's anger. His friends sneered at me. Adelaide, are you even human? You're stirring up trouble at a time like this. We all know you're just doing this to get Nathaniel's attention. Compared to your sister, a woman who would use any means to get a man, you're nothing. You don't deserve Nathaniel. Nathaniel's eyes turned red. Adelaide, go to the hospital and apologize to her now, and I might forgive you. But don't even think about marrying me, because you're not worthy. I scoffed. There's no need for your forgiveness. I'm not marrying you. For a moment, everyone present seemed to hear a cosmic joke. Laughter filled the wedding hall. Adelaide, stop pretending to be a cold goddess. Everyone knows you're just a spare. You've been chasing after Nathaniel for 7 years, and he's sick of you. Now you're saying you won't marry him? If you have that kind of backbone, I'll go live stream myself taking a dump on the street. Nathaniel, basking in the adulation, looked smug. He leaned in and whispered, Adelaide, I know you better than anyone. Last lifetime, I just said I didn't like children, and you had a hysterectomy for me. Is there a woman in the world more worthless than you? You love me so much, how can you live without me? He had also been reborn. I looked at him in astonishment. Nathaniel misunderstood and looked down on me. Don't worry, as long as you don't interfere with my pursuit of Bridget, and if you behave, I'll allow you to be my secret lover. But don't expect me to be with you often. That would be unfair to Bridget. I thought he was insane. Nathaniel sneered triumphantly. You've secretly decorated the entire wedding venue, and you still say you won't marry me? The venue was decorated in a refreshing palette of blue and white, a stark contrast to Nathaniel's usually gaudy taste. Note: this translation aims to capture the original text's tone and nuances while ensuring readability for English-speaking audiences. Some cultural-specific references might require additional context for a full understanding. 2. Nathaniel was too engrossed in his own satisfaction to notice anything amiss. On his birthday, at a party, someone asked him how he managed to subdue me, the cold and aloof heiress. He scoffed. Adelaide is cold? Don't be ridiculous. She loves me so much that she would do anything I ask. I could tell her to go east, and she wouldn't dare go west. Believe me, I could even make her kneel if I wanted to. Everyone cheered and flattered him. Nathaniel is truly a role model for all men. So what if Adelaide is the daughter of a wealthy family? She's still just a dog under Nathaniel's command. I pushed open the door, but the laughter didn't stop. In fact, it grew louder. Oh look, talk of the devil. Nathaniel, why don't you show us your dominance right now? Before Nathaniel could say anything, my sister looked uncomfortable. She was sitting on a man's lap, and Nathaniel had his arm around her waist. She bit her lip and stood up nervously. Adelaide, don't get the wrong idea. There's nothing going on between me and your brother-in-law. It's just that I have my period today, and my brother-in-law was worried I would get cold sitting on the sofa. Nathaniel grabbed her waist and spoke softly. Why are you afraid of her? The person I love is you. Then he looked at me provocatively. Adelaide, don't push your luck. Don't think that just because my family agreed to the marriage, you can come here and interrogate me. You're not entitled to that. If it weren't for your face being 7 points similar to Bridget's, do you think I would have put up with you for so long? Yeah. So I wonder what it was that made me stay by your side in my previous life. Don't worry, I won't interfere with your business. Have fun. I came because Mom asked me to keep an eye on my sister, afraid she would do something outrageous again. It wasn't for him. Perhaps because he didn't see the expected confrontation or my submissive attitude. Nathaniel's face darkened. After a long while, he snorted coldly. Good. Behave yourself like that in the future. At that moment, those who had wanted to see me kneel started to heckle again. I heard that in the past, concubines had to kneel and serve tea to their master and the main wife. Since Nathaniel's heart belongs to Bridget, Adelaide is the concubine. Hurry up, it's Nathaniel's birthday today. Adelaide, why don't you kneel down and toast him? Nathaniel's friends always made fun of me, because that's just how Nathaniel was. At that moment, he was wrapped around my sister, looking smug. How about it? Kneel down and toast to me and your sister, and I'll forgive you for what you did to Bridget. Everyone clapped and cheered, and some even took out their cameras. If this photo was leaked, it would definitely be a major scandal for the Adelaide family. Nathaniel was certain I would crumble. I looked at him and smiled. I'm sorry, but my bones are too stiff to kneel. I feel uncomfortable in such a dirty place, so I'm leaving. With that, I turned and left. Nathaniel's face turned completely black. Adelaide, if you dare step out of this room, believe me, I'll make sure you don't even have a lover. How funny. It's as if I ever agreed to be with him. Later that night, a mutual friend said that Nathaniel was very angry and was waiting for me to apologize. I simply turned off my phone and continued to check the wedding guest list. For several days, I did something unusual and didn't contact him. Nathaniel sent me a card. He called and said, Adelaide, have I been too indulgent with you lately? Your spoiled behavior is getting harder and harder to deal with. All right, take the card and don't make a fuss. If you keep this up, I might break up with you. 3. Nathaniel is sick. We haven't even started, so how can we talk about breaking up? Ignoring him, my phone vibrated, and my sister's flashy video appeared on the screen. In the video, there was a mansion worth over $100 million, 3 limited edition luxury cars. The caption read, Where love is, money is. Another day surrounded by love. Nathaniel's profile was casually shown in the video. The card he gave me probably couldn't even buy a car tire. But I don't care who he loves. I liked the post and commented, So happy for you, hope it lasts. Soon, my sister sent me a private message. My dear sister, are you jealous? Don't think that just because you've been reborn, you can win against me. It turned out my sister had been reborn too. In the previous life, she died early and didn't have time to cause trouble. But before she died, she also ruined the man I loved most. Filled with anger, I was about to question her when Nathaniel suddenly came to my door. Adelaide, you've gone too far. What do you mean by that comment on your friend's circle? It's all your fault. You made Bridget not eat anything last night. Just as he was about to scold me some more, he looked up and saw the wedding invitations and characters on the wall of my room. A look of disgust appeared in his eyes, along with a hint of triumph. Adelaide, I didn't expect you to be so infatuated with me. Knowing that I'm going to marry your sister, you still decorated a new room for yourself. Are you fantasizing about being my bride? You're so pathetic. He's sick. I couldn't be bothered with him, so I turned and left. A whole week later, the wedding banquet venue was finally decorated. It was in my own villa, and I wanted Oliver to see this surprise as soon as he returned. My mother was helping me prepare my dowry and was feeling a bit sentimental. Oliver is now the head of the Oliver family. His best choice isn't the Adelaide family. I didn't expect him to agree to this marriage so readily. I smiled but didn't say anything. My heart ached. In this life, I won't let anything come between us again. But on the day before he returned, something unexpected happened. At 3:30 in the morning, my sister Bridget made it to the top of the news. The reason was that she had organized a wild party and was involved in drug use and gambling. And the location was the villa complex where my wedding venue was located. The wedding I had been looking forward to for 2 lifetimes was ruined before it even began. In the footage, Bridget was wearing my wedding dress, spraying champagne all over the place. The paintings I had carefully customized on the wall were smashed, and the white flower wall was covered in messy paint. There were even a few used planning tools left in the living room. And before the incident, she posted a message. "Ha ha ha, I have a doorman. When I need a place to throw a party, my dear brother-in-law immediately helps me out." It was Nathaniel who took them there. How dare he? I raced to the villa complex. Nathaniel and my sister seemed to have just finished and were casually putting on their clothes. The bed I had prepared for my wedding night with Oliver was now wrinkled and dirty, covered in disgusting stains. Bridget's lace underwear was scattered on the pillow. At this moment, she put on her dress and looked innocent. "Sister, I'm sorry. I was just a little tired after playing and rested on my brother-in-law's bed. We didn't do anything, would you mind?" I looked at her and slapped her. "You and Nathaniel are just asking for it, and I don't even care. But this is my wedding room. How dare you come in and dirty it?" Bridget screamed after being slapped by me. She hid behind Nathaniel crying. I wasn't finished, and I was about to hit her again. But Nathaniel kicked me to the ground. "Adelaide, you're going too far. What if Bridget sleeps in your wedding room? It's an honor for you. Besides, you've been decorating your wedding room for so long. Isn't it for me to use? Since that's the case, then this wedding room and bed are mine to do with as I please. 4. This house is my mother's dowry for me. Bridget can't touch it, and you have even less right." Nathaniel sneered. "Cut the crap. Isn't your dowry mine anyway? You love me so much besides me, would you marry another man?" Nathaniel was confident and assertive, but then he changed his tone. "My uncle will be returning home tomorrow. He has the most say in my family. I will ask him to agree to let me marry Bridget and cancel our engagement. You should also say a few good words for Bridget in front of my uncle, understand? If you help me get things done, I won't hold you accountable for hitting Bridget today, and I'll even allow you to be my mistress in the future. I will go to his house tomorrow, but it has nothing to do with them." My eyes swept across the two of them like knives. "Nathaniel, listen to me. I am getting married, but it has nothing to do with you. Also, I never agreed to be your lover. If you keep talking nonsense, I'll sue you for defamation." I left without looking back. Nathaniel's face turned as black as a pot. He wanted to chase after me and curse, but my resolute attitude made him inexplicably uneasy. Without thinking further, Bridget huddled in his arms, trembling. "What should we do? My sister seems angry. Why don't I go apologize to her?" "No." Nathaniel's face turned cold. "I've been too indulgent with her. A woman like her who doesn't know her place should be ignored." Overnight, the news continued to ferment. Nathaniel and Bridget's personal accounts were bombarded by netizens with insults. "What a couple of dogs. Adelaide chased him for 7 years, and at the last minute, he cheated with his fiancée's sister. In my opinion, Bridget is not a good person either. I heard from people in their circle that she's involved in some shady stuff. Adelaide is so pathetic, she let a cooked duck fly away. She deserves to not be able to keep a man." The online heat continued to rise, and Nathaniel took the opportunity to publicly announce his relationship with Bridget. He planned to force the Oliver family to accept her as their daughter-in-law. But Bridget had a messy private life since she was a student, which was a well-known fact in the upper circles, and the Oliver family would not want such a daughter-in-law. When I saw this post, I immediately posted an announcement. The person marrying into the Adelaide family is me, not Nathaniel. Please don't misunderstand. As for my sister and Mr. Nathaniel's relationship, I respect and bless them. My clarification immediately went viral. Nathaniel called me angrily. Adelaide, at this critical moment, why are you causing trouble? Don't think you can take this opportunity to force me to marry you. I never realized before that you're so jealous. Hurry up and delete that post. If it affects the marriage between the two families, the consequences will not be something you and I can bear. Of course, I didn't delete it. So when Oliver's family held a welcome banquet for Oliver that night, Nathaniel's face turned green when he saw me. He looked at me coldly and was about to scold me. When he glanced at the wedding ring on my hand, the corners of his mouth involuntarily turned up. You keep saying you won't marry me, but you've even bought an engagement ring. Women are so fickle, you won't give me a good face, so you're so eager. All right, give it to me, but I'll only wear it for a while. Later, you help me say a few good words to Bridget, and I'll agree to wear it for a few more days. I quickly put it away. Get lost, it's not for you. I took a step back, and he realized that I was sitting on his uncle's side seat. This was a seat reserved for the family members of his uncle. In the past, Oliver didn't have a family, so it was empty, but now it's not. Nathaniel frowned. He reached out to pull me. You know whose seat this is, and you still sit here. Get up quickly. If you offend my uncle, be careful I completely abandon you. You're my woman, you should sit here. Let go. I struggled unhappily. Suddenly, a tall figure walked over with a playful tone. She's your woman? How come I don't know when my wife became yours? 5. The man walked in, bathed in light. A well-tailored suit made him look even more handsome and upright, and the flickering lights cast shadows on his face. His eyes seemed to be smiling, but it was hard to tell if he was happy or angry. After so many years, he was more mature and handsome than I remembered. Although I had seen him on TV news and financial reports, it felt surreal to have him standing right in front of me. Oliver walked to the dining room, and our eyes met across the distance. His obsidian black eyes lit up for a moment, making my heart race. Just like in our early years, he always used that look to make me lose my composure. I couldn't help but feel a little dazed. Oliver smiled playfully. Madam, we're not married yet, and you're giving me those looks. I can't handle it. His tone was very playful. I immediately blushed. This man, how could he be even more slick-tongued than in the previous life? Nathaniel watched us flirt with each other, his face turning incredibly ugly. He stepped forward and forced a smile. Uncle, Adelaide is my fiancée. Don't tease her like that. It will give people the wrong idea. Then his face immediately turned cold, and he glared at me fiercely. Adelaide, when did you hook up with my uncle behind my back? What is your relationship with him? He thought he had lowered his voice, but Oliver still heard it. He put his arm around my shoulder and casually took the men's wedding ring off my finger and put it on his ring finger. The size was just right, perfect. Oliver raised his chin and looked at the dumbfounded Nathaniel. He said with a smirk, Good nephew, tell me what is my relationship with Adelaide? Come on, hurry up and call me aunt. What? Nathaniel's eyes widened in disbelief. I was supposed to marry the Adelaide family. How could this be? No, this is impossible. Nathaniel was staggering, and he started to talk nonsense. Suddenly, he lowered his head, as if thinking of something, and suddenly looked up at me. Before he could say anything, the upstairs was bustling, and the Oliver family came downstairs. And since Oliver was the future son-in-law of the Adelaide family naturally came in full force for this welcoming party, including Bridget. But no one in the room liked her, nor did they like Nathaniel. After all, they had just lost so much face for both families. Bridget had a lot of scandals, and she never cared about them. But for some reason, she had a very bad expression from the moment she came in, especially when she saw Oliver patiently removing the fat from the lamb chops for me. Her face was blacker than a pot that hadn't been washed in 10 years. Throughout the dinner, Oliver was busy responding to the greetings of his family while constantly serving me food. In the end, I couldn't eat anymore and pushed away his hand that was offering me another crab. Stop it, I'm almost full. The elders looked at us lovingly and smiled at each other. Oliver's grandfather held his teacup inside. Before the marriage, I was worried that Adelaide would be bullied by Oliver after marrying into the family. After all, the two of you haven't seen each other much and are not familiar with each other. Looking at you today, you two seem like an old married couple who have been married for many years. Everyone present echoed, Oliver, and I looked at each other meaningfully in the midst of the noise. We had been waiting for this day for 2 lifetimes. We really were old married couples. After the welcome banquet, I started to visit the Oliver family frequently, mainly because I wanted to see Oliver more. In the previous life, before I could discover his love, he left me. This was a regret I would have to make up for my whole life. One day, Oliver was on the phone in his study, and I was taking a walk in the garden. Nathaniel suddenly appeared out of nowhere. The usually refined and handsome man had some blue stubble on his face, making him look a bit haggard. He approached me angrily. Adelaide, what's going on? Why is the person you're marrying my uncle? Is it because your Adelaide family thinks I'm not as powerful as my uncle, so they forced you to choose him? Haha, Adelaide, I thought you loved me so much, but I didn't expect that you wouldn't even fight for me. You've disappointed me so much. 6. Nathaniel is crazy. How dare he think I still love him to this day? Seeing that I didn't speak, he mistakenly thought I was guilty. Immediately changing his tone, he said gently, Adelaide, I know you don't love my uncle. He's domineering and doesn't know how to cherish women. How can he compare to me? Why don't you go ask my grandfather? As long as you speak up, he will definitely change the marriage candidate to me. Anyway, it's only been announced to the public that there's a marriage, but it hasn't been said that the person I'm marrying is my uncle. It's still in time, definitely in time. The more he talked, the more feasible he thought it was. The more he talked, the brighter his eyes became. Finally, he couldn't wait any longer and rushed over to grab me and drag me towards my grandfather's study. He's sick, but I'm not. Nathaniel, let go of me. Wake up. I never said I was going to marry you from the beginning, so why are you so obsessed? Without me, won't you and Bridget have a smoother time? I struggled while trying to reason with him. I thought I had made myself very clear, but Nathaniel suddenly turned back to me with red eyes. He yelled hysterically, I don't listen, I don't listen. You loved me so much in your previous life. You would do anything for me. How can you say you won't marry me in this life? How can you be so cruel? I stared at his eyebrows, which were somewhat similar to Oliver's. When he was angry, he became distorted and ugly. He wasn't like my Oliver at all. I said calmly, because you look like him. What did you say? His voice trembled. Since things had come to this, I might as well lay it all out. I looked directly into his painful eyes and said word by word, Nathaniel, listen carefully. I have only ever loved one person in this life and the last, and that is Oliver. And you were just a substitute I found after losing the love of my life. Nathaniel's hand trembled, and I quickly dodged away from him. Nathaniel suddenly grabbed my shoulder and shook me frantically, his eyes wide with anger. You're lying, you're lying. You and my uncle have clearly never had any interaction. Why would you fall in love with him when you've always had? Bang! A man swung a fierce punch. Tisk, nephew, didn't I say you should call her something? Oliver turned his wrist slightly, his eyes looking down, full of intimidation and oppression. Nathaniel was knocked to the ground by his punch and spat out a mouthful of blood. He was unwilling to give in and gritted his teeth. Oliver didn't seem to be in a hurry. He just raised an eyebrow. He said slowly, Oh, it seems that the executive president here has a poor memory. I'm not comfortable leaving someone like you in the company. As he spoke, he took out his phone and prepared to call a board meeting to remove Nathaniel from his position. Nathaniel's face turned pale. He lowered his head and reluctantly spoke. Aunt. Good nephew, that's more like it. Oliver squatted down and patted Nathaniel's cold face. Remember, respect your aunt from now on. And if something like this happens again, you should know my temper. Oliver's tone was relaxed, but Nathaniel shrank back, as if he was terrified to the extreme. Oliver took me back to the room. Since the welcome banquet that day, he particularly liked being close to me. Recalling his quick move just now, I suddenly flashed back to the image of him, wearing a uniform, and looking upright and serious many years ago. Looking at him, I suddenly smiled. President Oliver is still in good shape. After so many years, your skills as a policeman haven't declined. Oliver glanced at me. Wrong, this is the skill of protecting a little crybaby. 7. Little crybaby. That was the nickname Oliver gave me a long time ago. Back then, the happiest thing for me every day was seeing him waiting for me outside school. One night, I had a dream. I was the long-lost daughter of the Adelaide family. The year I was born, due to a hospital mistake, I was stolen by a childless rural couple. They regretted not stealing the right one, as they had stolen a girl. But because they couldn't have children, they had no choice but to raise me. My foster parents were not kind to me. My foster father was an alcoholic, and my foster mother was a gambler. They didn't have a fixed job, and when they ran out of money, they would steal or rob. Often, when I was in class, the police would come to inform me that my parents had been arrested again. For a primary school student, I had gone from panic to numbness. My classmates would say, "Adelaide's parents are thieves, so she must be a thief too. Let's beat up the thief, beat up the thief." I spent 6 years of elementary school being bullied endlessly. They would douse me with cold water in winter and fill my lunchbox with mud during nap time. They would tear up my homework and lie to me, saying that the dishcloth water was an imported drink and that if I drank it, they would stop bullying me. I couldn't tell the difference between heaven and hell. In middle school, I passed the entrance exam for a key school, and my foster mother and father were released from prison. Their addictions got worse. One borrowed money to gamble, and the other took drugs. When they ran out of money, they would steal the tuition I had earned from working part-time, until I had not a single penny left. They started to have the idea of selling me. One day, my foster father dragged me by the hair from one end of the street to the other. He was going to sell me to a massage parlor. I cried for help, and everyone around me watched, their eyes either pitying or watching a show. But no one was willing to lend a hand. While my foster father was bargaining with the other party, I had completely lost hope. Then Oliver, who was still a young boy, appeared. He kicked my foster father, knocking him to the ground with a bloody face and breaking 3 of his ribs. I stared blankly, forgetting even to breathe. My face turned red. After beating up the man, Oliver looked up at me and smiled wildly. "Little crybaby, let's go." I was the lost daughter of the Adelaide family, and he was a young master who had been dragged into family struggles. When he was injured from fighting and lying on the ground, weak, I fed him and called the police for him. Now this little wolf was repaying me. Before Oliver took the college entrance exam, he said he wanted to be a policeman. I was puzzled. "Isn't your goal to study finance and business?" He smiled and ruffled my hair. "You're so stupid. I want to be a policeman so that I can send all the bad people who bully you to jail, little crybaby." Later, he really got into police academy, but when he came to me with his admission notice, the Adelaide family had already taken me back to the Adelaide family without saying a word. The childhood companion I had depended on was lost just like that. Later, when we met again, he was already the powerful young master of the Oliver family. When I woke up from the dream, I held Oliver's hand tightly. He gently wiped away my tears, his expression unusually tense. "What's wrong?" I buried my head in his chest. "It's great. I didn't lose you this life. I will never let go of Oliver." And there were also people who kept pestering me. Before the wedding, Nathaniel somehow found out that Oliver and I often stayed together after getting our marriage certificate. He lost his soul and blocked me at my door. He brought a lot of gifts I had given him in the past: clothes, shoes, watches, perfume, ties. He said, "Adelaide, we had so many happy times together before. You can't just throw me away like you're throwing away these things. You hurt my feelings, don't you need to take responsibility? Adelaide, don't make up any more lies about being a substitute to make me care. I forgive you, come back to me." 8. He begged in his tone. I just laughed outright. "Nathaniel, do I need to remind you that my wedding with your uncle is in a week? I'm your future aunt-in-law. According to the Oliver family rules, if you disrespect your elders and flirt, I can completely deal with you." Nathaniel's face turned pale inch by inch. "Adelaide, don't talk to me like that, I'll feel bad." Fine, I won't let you be my lover anymore, okay? I'll let you be my boyfriend, okay? He was simply hopeless. I called the servants directly. I had all the things he brought burned in a bonfire. Nathaniel tried desperately to save them, but he was stopped by the bodyguards and couldn't get close. His eyes turned red with anger. Adelaide, how can you be so cruel? These are all our beautiful memories, how can you? I frowned and interrupted him calmly. Then take a good look in the gifts I gave you. Is there anything you're interested in? Nathaniel was stunned. Gradually, he stopped struggling and shouting, because he also knew that he didn't like any of these things. Every time I gave him a gift, he would complain about it. After all, I bought them all according to Oliver's preferences. From the beginning, I didn't have him in my heart. Nathaniel completely accepted the fact that he was a substitute, but acceptance didn't mean he could digest it. He began to live a wild life, either hanging out in bars or going out racing and flirting with girls. Gradually, he didn't care much about Bridget either. And Bridget had a strong personality. Her usual gentleness and obedience were all fake. Seeing Nathaniel playing around, she couldn't help but lose her temper. The two of them finally had a big fight and ended up fighting each other. In the end, it ended up very ugly, and they finally broke up. One day before the wedding, the Adelaide family urgently contacted me. Adelaide, something's wrong. Your sister is going to commit suicide. In the previous life, she also said she was feeling sad and wanted to commit suicide. She drove alone in the middle of the night in a rainstorm to a mountain road and parked her car on the edge of a cliff. She took a photo and sent a message to Oliver. If you don't come, I'll die. Oliver had already returned to the family and no longer worked as a policeman, but his sense of responsibility from the past still made him venture out in the middle of the night. In the end, no one knew what happened between the two of them on the edge of the cliff. The next day, there were only 2 burnt-out cars at the bottom of the cliff and 2 charred corpses. Thinking back to the past scenes, my hands and feet were ice cold, and I immediately drove to find Bridget. This time she didn't go to the cliff, but stood on the top floor of the Oliver Group building, swaying. My mother's voice was hoarse from crying. Bridget, come down quickly, I'm so old, don't scare your mother, okay? Bridget stood on the edge unmoved. Until she saw me. I have something to say to my sister, you all leave or I'll jump. This. My mother and father looked at each other hesitant. They knew that Bridget was very hostile towards me, and if they left the two of us on the rooftop, they were afraid that in the blink of an eye, I would be the one pushed down by Bridget. Seeing her parents' hesitation, Bridget sneered. Sure enough, in your hearts, my life is not as important as my sister's. She put on a heartbroken expression and pretended to step out. My mother was so scared that she almost fainted. She quickly agreed and was supported by others to leave. Before leaving, she didn't forget to whisper to me to be careful. I nodded and told my mother to rest assured. In just a few minutes, only my sister and I were left on the huge rooftop. She immediately retracted her leg and rushed towards me with bloodshot eyes. Adelaide, you're so cruel, we're sisters. Why did you steal from me? You stole my parents' love, stole the title of the Adelaide family's daughter, and stole Nathaniel who loved me so much. Why don't you even leave Oliver for me? He's the man I love the most. 9. Love, I scoffed. So you love him so much that when you found out the person he loved was me, you would rather die with him in your previous life? Bridget gritted her teeth. If I can't have him, neither can you. Another crazy one. Bridget, have you ever thought that you don't actually love Oliver? You only love yourself? You enjoy being the center of attention and naturally assume that everyone should revolve around you. Oliver doesn't have feelings for you, but he likes me, someone you look down on. It's just that you're unbalanced. Including you going to bed with Nathaniel. If you hadn't mistakenly thought he was my fiancé at the time, I don't think you would have done that. To sum it up, it was her who wanted to take away what was originally mine. Of course, I don't care about Nathaniel. You're lying, you're lying. Bridget roared, her red eyes staring at me. Oliver loves me, and Nathaniel loves me too. Before you appeared, they were all mine. Why didn't you just die outside? Why did you have to be found? My sister's scream echoed in the empty rooftop, carried away by the wind. I was stunned by her question. When I was first found by the Adelaide family, my sister had scolded me like this. Back then, not long after I returned to the Adelaide family, it was my birthday. My sister and I were twins, so naturally we had birthdays on the same day. My parents probably felt guilty about me, so they bought me an extra diamond necklace. Bridget cried and poured hot milk on my face. She scolded me for stealing her parents. I was completely at a loss. After all, she was the one my parents had raised, and although they felt guilty towards me, they loved her more. So at first, they turned a blind eye to her little tricks. Later, she knew I was allergic to coconut milk, but she still added a lot of coconut milk to my drink, causing me to almost have an allergic shock, and my parents gradually became disappointed in her. Seeing that this trick couldn't win back her parents' love, my sister began to take drastic measures, going to bars, dyeing her hair, falling in love early, and maintaining improper relationships with many boys. She wanted to get her parents' attention, but instead, she broke their hearts. At that time, I passed the entrance exam for the most famous university in the country with the top score. And my parents saw hope in me again, and the focus of their love shifted to me. My sister's hostility towards me had become too strong to hide. Even later, when I reunited with Oliver, it was she who intervened, making me misunderstand that Oliver liked her. In the previous life, if it hadn't been for Oliver's lawyer coming to me after his death and telling me that he had left all his inheritance to me, I saw those sketches hidden in his will, and each one was of me. Perhaps, the misunderstanding between us would have continued into this life. Thoughts returned. A fruit knife appeared in my sister's hand. She lunged at me, screaming, "Adelaide, it's all your fault. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't be in this situation. Adelaide, you should be the one to die. Why don't you just die?" Her knife pointed directly at my throat. She stabbed. I widened my eyes and dodged, but a figure suddenly blocked my vision. Nathaniel, I don't know where he came from, pounced over. "Adelaide, be careful." With a puff, the knife plunged deep into his back, staining a large area with blood. Nathaniel fell to the ground in pain, and Bridget, who had already turned red-eyed, pulled out the knife and lunged at me again. "Dare to touch her? You should be the one to die." Oliver, who had rushed over, hugged me and dodged the attack, then kicked Bridget away with a swift kick. "Adelaide, my daughter, are you okay?" The door to the rooftop was pushed open, and my parents and the police rushed in and quickly subdued the still frenzied Bridget. I didn't care about her. I just kept looking at Oliver in front of me, reaching out and touching him everywhere. "You were so dangerous just now. Are you injured? Did the knife cut you?" Oliver smiled and took my hand. "Don't worry, unless you want me to die otherwise." I quickly covered his mouth, not wanting him to say anything unlucky. Oliver understood my concerns and gently hugged me. "Adelaide, no one can ruin our wedding this life.